Are you ready to dive into the intriguing world of human psychology? Well, buckle up, because today we're exploring the fascinating topic of narcissists with a sense of entitlement. Picture this. A charming and charismatic individual who always seeks the spotlight is only interested in their own desires and lacks empathy toward others. WebMD states that the entitlement mentality is defined as a sense of deservingness or being owed a favor when little or nothing has been done to deserve special treatment. It's the "you owe me" attitude. That, my friends, is the definition of entitlement. But what makes them so captivating and, at the same time, so infuriating? It's their intense sense of entitlement. Let's face it, when we see displays of entitlement, we cannot help but shake our heads or roll our eyes. Okay, so let's do a quick test to see if you can tell me which person has an obvious sense of entitlement. Is it person number 1? Or is it person number 2? If you said person number 2, you are correct. You can tell by lack of basic courtesy, not even so much as a thank you. But why does this type of narcissist feel entitled in the first place? First, let's break down the concept into an easier-to-understand format as we dig a little deeper. To understand how a person can feel entitled, we must venture into the depths of their psychology. You see, narcissists possess an inflated sense of self-importance and an insatiable need for admiration. They firmly believe that the world revolves around them, and everyone else should cater to their every whim and desire. Here are 3 examples that I'm sure you have seen before at some point. That person who tried to cut in front of you while waiting in a lineup. Perhaps it was someone who demanded seating at a busy restaurant without a reservation. Here's another totally different example you may not have expected. A person who spends a large portion of their partner's money on expensive items without considering the financial strain it puts on the relationship. Does any of this sound familiar? Let me know by smashing the like button so we can see how relatable this topic is. Now it's time that we explore some root causes for this type of behavior. According to Pepperdine University, parenting mistakes can lead to a sense of entitlement. These mistakes would include being a peer and not a parent, giving children an equal say in decisions without any basis or responsibility, bribing kids with treats to behave, rewarding kids for showing up, never saying no, modeling entitled behavior themselves. Research suggests that traumatic experiences in childhood, such as neglect or excessive praise, can contribute to the development of narcissistic traits. Additionally, societal factors, like the glorification of material wealth and fame, can fuel their sense of entitlement even further. But how can we identify a narcissist and their sense of entitlement? Well, there are telltale signs to look out for. They may consistently manipulate others, exploit relationships for personal gain, and show an utter lack of empathy for starters. Their belief in their superiority often leads to a disregard for rules, boundaries, and even common courtesy. Here are 8 real-life examples that may help you be more aware. 1. The spoiled child. A child who always expects to get what they want, throws tantrums if things don't go their way, and shows little appreciation or empathy for others. 2. The ungrateful employee. An employee who believes they deserve promotions, raises, or special treatment without putting in the necessary effort or demonstrating exceptional performance. 3. The demanding customer. A customer who feels entitled to VIP treatment, discounts, or special privileges, often making unreasonable demands on service providers. 4. The narcissistic partner. A person in a romantic relationship who believes their needs and desires should always take precedence, showing little empathy for their partner's feelings. 5th is the entitled boss. This could be a manager who exhibits perfectionist behavior, tends to micromanage all aspects of their employees' work, and consistently dismisses their team members' input and ideas. 6. The entitled friend. A friend who constantly expects others to cater to their needs without reciprocating or showing appreciation for the efforts made by others in the friendship. 7. The entitled student. A student who believes they should receive top grades without putting in the necessary effort, or who challenges academic evaluations based on a sense of entitlement. 8. The entitled neighbor. Someone in a community who feels entitled to dictate or control what others do, expecting special treatment or privileges within the neighborhood. So, what are the best ways of dealing with entitlement? When faced with this type of narcissist, firstly, it's essential to stand your ground by establishing clear boundaries. Educate the entitled person that you're dealing with on the type of behavior that is unacceptable. I want to share my real-life example, as I'm sure you can relate. I was in line with my family at Disneyland, and 3 youths cut in front of us. Wanting to react assertively, I calmly and kindly said, "Excuse me, but it's very disrespectful to cut in line, because it's not fair to the rest of us waiting in line. You need to remove yourself or I'll have to notify the staff." The aggressor in the group replied, "Go F yourself." After staring at me for a moment, they slowly removed themselves from the line. Remember, we should never compromise our well-being for the sake of pleasing a narcissist. If you find it difficult to speak up, seeking support from friends, family, or professionals can also be helpful when dealing with the complexities of narcissistic relationships. Just 3 more key points on how to handle a situation when dealing with entitlement, before we wrap things up. 1. Try to avoid engaging in power struggles or continual attempts to change the behavior of individuals with narcissistic entitlement. Recognize when interactions with individuals displaying narcissistic entitlement are emotionally taxing, and take steps to limit your exposure to such situations. 2. Always stay calm and composed when interacting with a narcissistic individual. Narcissists may attempt to provoke emotional reactions to gain a sense of control, so maintaining composure can help avoid giving them control over you. 3. Keep responses brief. When communicating with a narcissistic individual, aim to keep your explanations as short and to the point as possible. Limiting the information you provide can help minimize opportunities for manipulation or exploitation. Instead, focus on managing your own responses and reactions to minimize conflict. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the complex topic of narcissistic entitlement. Understanding these patterns can empower us to navigate challenging relationships with compassion and strength. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue our series on narcissism. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.